Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, the Wise Guy, and today is January 18th, 2025. It has just been made known that Trump will be moving his inaugural address indoors. This changes up quite a bit, and I'm not sure it's entirely for the reasons that are being discussed. So if you enjoy news, history, or humorous American hogwash, sit a spell. Take your shoes off. Yesterday morning, it was announced that the incoming executive will be breaking with tradition and having his address held indoors. His team has already come out to claim that this is due to the fact that the temperatures will be dangerously low. However, as it has already been made clear, JFK and others have held their ceremonies in much worse weather. So either that claim doesn't hold up to scrutiny, or he doesn't want to wheeze his whittle hands. Either look awful for a person who markets himself as a strongman. Those two assumptions also fail to bring into question some of the other very real reasons for this unique departure from historical precedent. One of this could be happening due to one of my own personal conspiracies. He shook. He got shook when he got shot at. I personally think this is a guy who's internalizing his own trauma as someone who wishes the world view him by some toxically masculine perception. After already having made a litany of denigrating remarks about veterans and their own traumas and experiences, it would not shock me in the least to find out that he is unable to process that event. Because of this, he is seeking a more secure setting that may offer him shielding or escape from his perceived dangers. This is a common practice by those who are diagnosed with PTSD. Now, before I say anything else, I'm not a clinical psychologist, nor am I a practicing mental health care professional. I'm not going to claim to speak from that experience, nor am I going to diagnose anyone. I was a corpsman, and I worked in the emergency department, and I've seen some pretty personal, acute situations when it comes to mental health care and psychosis. So take all of that with whatever grain of salt you wish. All of what I'm about to say is pure speculation on my behalf. Trump will be taking the oath of office in the rotunda of the Capitol building, where those who wish to watch it will be doing so on large screens with the warmer and, I'm assuming, privatized Capital One Arena. Afterward, Trump will be joining the crowds in the arena to fanfare and adulation. After that, it will be party after party, celebrating the incoming president. So, if you didn't know now, those day one promises are probably not going to be fulfilled. But regardless, this offers him an enclosed spaces that may offer the perception of safety that the open mall can't. This may just be a brain fart on my point, but I can't remember too many other events that were open that he spoke at since the attempt on his life. What I will say is I wonder if Capital One will be getting a kickback in any way. But there are also a few other questions that this brings, aside from whether the trauma has taken its hold in some small way, or whether not privatizing an event that has historically taken place on public property has an ominous foreshadow of a more corporate dystopia. The temperatures do actually pose somewhat of an interesting burden on his behalf. After having suffered pretty harsh COVID symptoms, his team may very well be concerned for his health in regards to long-term immunity deficiencies he may not be completely forthcoming about. He'll be the oldest person to be inaugurated as president, so maybe there is a concern for his frailty. What that says about his potential as a president of the United States kind of speaks for itself. And throughout this first term, and even to this day, there's also been speculative concern about the man's actual health overall. His diet and lack of sleep would absolutely help reinforce that notion. So even though he has displayed no healthy lifestyle choices whatsoever in the public eye, he's still alive and kicking, so I guess we'll have to see. Another thing is the crowd size. Not only is he going in as the oldest president to be elected, he's going in with historically low approval ratings for an incoming president. Given how much he freaked out about the crowd size in 2016 being demonstrably smaller than those of his predecessor, I honestly think there is a pride factor playing out with this as well. Cramming everybody into an enclosed arena absolutely creates the perception of a larger audience than if they were seen from the top of the Washington Monument. But circling back to the PTSD part of it, regardless of who it is affecting, even Donald Trump, I can't stress enough that if you feel like you're facing issues with regards to your mental health, it is imperative to address them without any shame. There's nothing weak about taking care of your head just as much as going to the gym and taking care of your muscles. Address it just as you would any other part of your anatomy. And if it's the masculine thing, tough guy, I get it. I deployed with Marines. I challenge any of y'all to be tougher examples of masculinity. They cussed, they drank, they had terrible hygiene, they had it all. You're not going to convince me that you're above the idea of caring for your own well-being. When people tell you to keep a good head on your shoulders, they don't mean it literally. Take care of yourself. You can be pig-headed and prideful, but you're a human with a human brain. Give it the TLC it deserves. Don't let pride or anything else get in the way of your health. It isn't worth it. And I'm not telling you that you got to go telling the world about it. I'm sure there are plenty of private activities that would be defined as self-care that you prefer not sharing with the world, which I don't want to know about. But the fact is, if you don't want to tell anybody about it, you're not obligated to. But if Trump is moving this whole thing because of the trauma that he's faced, it wouldn't surprise me. Getting shot at ain't for everybody. It's probably one of the most understandable parts about him, to be honest. But it also may be telling of his future decision-making as well. People in legacy media and stuff, they're often talking about his cognitive capabilities. And to be honest, his baseline was always crazed narcissist, so it's kind of difficult to see any difference. But if there is some cognitive decline on his part, untreated PTSD is not going to help. Understand those problems don't get better by ignoring them, and it concerns me when it comes to his future decisions. It normally leads to fear and paranoia, two distinct traits that are not entirely ideal for an authoritarian world leader. I just wonder if this will actually be a period wherein we may actually see his own allies consider the use of the 25th Amendment. The premise that President J.D. Vance is on the horizon is not lost on me, with Trump's age and health, along with his mental and psychological tolls that he has put himself through his entire life by avoiding any actual real self-care. I just hope everyone is watching very closely when it comes to this, because, I don't know, maybe I'm just seeing more to this than what's true. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for hanging in there with me. Also, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It'll really go far in helping grow this channel and press the message forward. I'll see you next time. Y'all come back now. You hear?